Brothers and sisters, there is fire on the mountain. And I'm not talking about some miraculous Moses and the burning bush spiritual fire encounter. I mean, there's literally fire on the mountain. And by mountain, I mean the pile of money in my bank account, which should be my savings, is on fire. Because these electricity bills are consuming my destiny. And I need someone to explain to me in simple words that I can understand what is going on. Because I just sat down on my balcony around 2 a.m. this morning thinking, you know, one of those nights when you can't find sleep. So instead you just sit and think about your life. For men, this is usually when you screw up some business deal. And for women, probably when Femi breaks your heart. And if you are the man awake by 2 a.m. because Arike says she's not doing it again, then you really need to consider a gender change. I'm just kidding, even though I'm not. Go and sleep. There's work tomorrow. But this was neither of those. Maybe because Chelsea put on a crap performance again today as usual. Or because my girlfriend switched off her phone and texted me by 7 p.m. that she was tired and she's going to bed. By 7 p.m. Shut up. I know what I said earlier about gender change. Just don't. Fine, men have feelings too, okay? But whatever it was, I just couldn't sleep. So I was thinking about my life. And that's when it hit me. My electricity bill is now more than my rent. My electricity bill is now more than my rent. What is happening? I used to tell my friends in other states that the biggest challenge to living in Lagos was finding a place to stay. Once you pay your rent, you have solved like 80% of your problems. But no, that is outdated information. Now, electricity bill is more than your rent. Even transportation. To fill your tank now is by connection and the grace of God. Do you realize that in spite of all the robberies and kidnappings that happen to some people who enter private cars from the bus stop, a lot of people still rush into these private cars filled with strangers due to the prospect of a free ride? Because I'm not about to pay 2,000 naira to the island every day. How much is my salary? And then after all these struggles, I get home and I cannot turn on the air conditioner. Fear no let me know. One day I went out and forgot to turn off my AC from the socket because there was no light, and so I forgot the AC was on. After staying out the whole day, I got back in the evening, and from the staircase, I could feel a very cold breeze coming from my apartment. Ha! That breeze better not be coming from my living room. I nearly collapsed. 50,000 naira units that I loaded in the morning. Finished. Yeah. This life. Band A. This life and Band A. Band A and this life. So think that a few years ago, my electricity bill was 2,500 naira for the month. And I was still complaining. I remember the first day I got electricity bill of 8,000 naira for the month. I was so furious. I stormed the power office the next day, shouting and screaming at every living thing in the building. Now, my electricity bill is more than my rent. Blood of Zachariah. Someone can have on water heater. Both the temperature of the water and my temperature will be rising at the same time. Anyway, I said I should just greet my colleagues on Band A and ask how you guys are coping. And if maybe you can give me some tips on how you have kept these new tariffs from ruining your life. SOS, please help. And if you are listening to this and you don't know what we mean by Band A, you don't know what God has done for you. Let's leave it like that. When you start paying electricity bills, you meet us in front. And for my brothers and sisters who go through the corners to hide and tap power from their neighbor without their knowledge through illegal connection. Because my neighbor... Jason, calm down. Calm down, Jason. You know what? I'm not done with this conversation. Let me first go and answer this useless Femi that is at the door. You haven't heard the last of this. I'll be back. Femi, I thought I told you never to come to this house unannounced.